Today's episode of I Want Video is made possible by B&H Photo Video, the one-stop shop for all your video and audio needs, including cameras, tripods, microphones, lights, and all other needs for your video productions. That's B&H Photo Video. Try them today at trybh.com. On today's episode, I'm going to take my stab at the Mac versus PC wars and tell you about my experiences recently producing on both machines, and we'll take a look at a few products. All of this and more on today's militant episode of I Want Video. Today, I'm going to talk about the war between Mac and PC and my personal experience with dealing with both of those machines at the same time for similar projects. Now, I know most people out there either love Macs, love PCs, or hate PCs, and it seems to be a mutual battle that's been raging on forever. Now, me personally, I was an Amiga guy, and I moved up to Mac after the Amiga kind of went down, so I've never really used a PC that much. I always figured that all the talk of the crashes was all a bunch of nonsense, and that it was just mostly a personal preference. I liked using the Mac, I used it at a job I had, I enjoyed it, and so that's what I chose. Well, after using both machines, I can tell you there's a lot more to it than just choice. There are some real issues. Now, the first project was a 12-episode program shot in standard definition and put together on the Mac. It took me 2 days to take the project in, put the shows together, and export them out. Now to the PC side. Another 12-episode program shot in standard definition and brought onto the PC. The first day, what do you think happened? Well, I spent almost the entire day trying to figure out why I couldn't get the specialized video card to work with the computer. I couldn't figure out why Adobe Premiere kept crashing every time I turned it on. Not a good start. Well, by the second day, I had finally figured out something to get it working. I'm not exactly sure what I did. I tried a bunch of different things from online forums, and it eventually started working. I got to work on that second day now, and put together some of the programs, lined them out so that they were ready to go. Then the trouble really began. I brought in a couple of images, just normal standard pictures, and I put them into the timeline, and guess what happened? Crash. Brought in the next photo, froze up again. And I went through the process on day 2 of starting, restarting, bringing in pictures, freezing, unfreezing, saving, crashing, praying, complaining, yelling, screaming, and you name it, everything else. So now I'm at the end of day 2, and guess what I've got done? I've got 1 episode done and 1 episode started, versus all 12 done on the Mac. Day 3. Day 3 goes just like day 2. Nothing but freezes every time I bring in a picture. Nobody can tell me why. Well, end of day 3, guess what I had done? I now had a little over 2 episodes done. Day 4, a friend of mine finally gives me an idea. Why don't you take all of the things that you've lined up and export the video so that it's no longer in that specialized format, bring it back in, and then edit it that way? So I try that. I export all the video into a normal standard format, not using the specialized card. Bring those into new timelines that don't use the specialized card, bring in some pictures, and it starts working. Then, a little while later, boom, same problem again, even without using the card. And I have to restart again. So what did I do then? Well, I came up with an even better idea. I took all that footage that I had converted into a normal format, and I put it onto a hard drive. I took 2 steps across the room, plugged the hard drive into the Mac, and by the end of the next day, I had all the episodes done. So there. That is my take on the Mac versus PC wars. And I know there's going to be a ton of people that are going to complain and yell and everything else, that I'm unfair and all this, but this is exactly what happened. Now, I've written about it on my blog. If you go to iwantvideo.tv, you can find it there, the full details of exactly what happened and how it happened. So check it out, post your comments, And speaking of posting comments, we're going to run a special contest right now where the best posts on any of my blog posts or videos will receive a free 30-second short video for their website. So go to iwantvideo.tv, post your comments, and if you win, we'll announce it here on the show. Today's letter comes from Mike in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Mike writes, "Dear Ray, how the heck do I get my videos distributed so people can see them?" Well, Mike, that is a great question, and there's a ton of answers for that. As you may or may not know, there are a million sites out there that have video distribution. Sites like YouTube and Vimeo and Vidler and Blip and Welcome Mat and you name it. There's a million of them out there. How do you know where to distribute it? And how do you know how to distribute it? How do you know who's going to give you the best bang for your buck? Well, unfortunately, there is a great answer, and it doesn't even cost anything. It's TubeMogul. Head over to TubeMogul.com right now, sign up for a free account. Your video will be distributed once to all these different sites without you having to do anything other than upload it to TubeMogul one time. This will save you time, it'll save you energy, and it'll get your video viewed by the most amount of people. Okay, today's tool of the trade is something that we mentioned in our wars at the beginning, and that is the Matrox RTX2 video capture card and real-time playback card for Windows computers. Now, I will tell you this, I have used Matrox products in the past. I've used breakout boxes for the Macs, I've used breakout boxes for the PCs. They make some great products. The problem here is that we're reviewing the RTX 2. And that is the product that caused me all these headaches on two different machines. Now, the first machine, as I mentioned, would not allow me to bring in any still pictures without shutting down the whole computer each and every time, costing me time and money. On the second machine, we were unable to reopen projects after we used it. Now, the problem here is, do we blame it on the Matrox card? Well, on the first PC, I would say yes. We do blame that on the Matrox card because it was the Matrox card that seemed to be crashing the computer. It was the Matrox card's format that seemed to be causing the problem with the images. If you know otherwise, please comment below the video to let me know what you think of the RTX 2. Now, on the other PC, where we had all sorts of trouble bringing in opening projects after we had edited them, we can't blame that on the Matrox card. On that PC, the Matrox card seemed to perform fairly well when we could get the projects to work. My personal opinion, the Matrox card was a decent performer for, some uses and not so good for others. It didn't really help too much with the real-time nature of the videos. Comparing it to my Mac that has no hardware that's accelerating things, the speed didn't seem to be much better. The real-time video didn't seem to be much better. As far as the capturing, you can capture with DV just as well, or HDV, or with a breakout box just as easily as you can with this Matrox inserted card, which seemed to cause too many other problems. My personal opinion, the Matrox RTX 2 is not a great product. What has your experience been? Let me know by posting down below. And of course, the best posts will win the prize that we mentioned earlier in the show, with results posted on the next episode. Now, if you're thinking about buying a Matrox RTX 2 or any other product, remember to check out B&H Photo Video at trybh.com, where you'll get the best deals on all of your video and electronic needs. That's B&H Photo. They've been around forever, and they are well trusted everywhere. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of I Want Video. I know things are getting a little hairy in here, so we've got to go. We'll see you next time, and remember, post your comments down below on the war versus Mac versus Windows.